On Tuesday the 29th of June, more than 70 homeopaths and patients gathered outside the annual representatives meeting of the British Medical Association in Brighton. They were protesting about 7 motions at the conference attacking homeopathy on the NHS. They said that homeopathy had worked for them.
My name's Zoe and this is Jake. He was born 11 days ago. I've studied homeopathy and my last labour was very long and intense and painful. My labour with him was very short. We only used homeopathy. We had him at home, no midwife assisting, and he's a happy, healthy bundle of calm joy.
Me, Audrey, I haven't had any medication since she's been born, and healthy and fit. I definitely feel clearer and emotionally more stable than ever.
And he's homeopathy at home first aid kits as well, so as a family they're more empowered with their health choices as well.
And I don't reach for, the quick fix.
Well, I'm a living example that homeopathy works, and I'm sick from the group, and I'm not going to allow them to take us out of the NHS, not while I can still.
And why do you think you're living proof that homeopathy works?
Well, because I'm nearly 98 years of age, and I've used nothing but homeopathy for the last 30 years.
Inside, Dr. Mary McCarthy claimed that homeopathy can do harm by diverting patients from conventional medical treatments, but many of the protesters had had a different experience.
At one stage I had a very serious drug poisoning which couldn't be put right, and my doctor told me, "I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore." And then fortunately a friend actually said, "Why don't you try homeopathy?" I haven't looked back since.
I used to go to the doctor time after time with like a hay fever type allergy that went on all the way through the year to a point where I couldn't actually do my job. And I kept going back and getting prescriptions time and time again. They never worked. I went and tried homeopathy without even really knowing what it was, and it worked. It saved NHS money, and I'm better for it. So win-win all round.
Dr. Tom Dolphin, a member of the BMA Junior Doctors Committee, called these experiences nonsense on stilts. He claimed that homeopathy is only a placebo, but one protester described its effect on her dog.
He had a 4-inch wound where he'd been cut open, and while we were away on holiday, he looked after by someone else, and the wound when we came back, despite lots of antibiotics, was still oozing pus. I refused to put on another set of antibiotics, and I started on homeopathy, and then in a couple of hours the pus had stopped and started healing.
Many protesters believe that the steady increase in attacks on homeopathy has been deliberately organised.
I'm a homeopath and a homeopathic teacher, and I'm here to show support for homeopathy because I think it is very unfair that the BMA tries to take away patients' choice. My feeling is that probably a relatively small group of people is behind that, who are actively campaigning, canvassing all the relevant organizations to basically strike off homeopathy.
Others are concerned that opponents of homeopathy are not being scientific.
A truly scientific approach is to observe a phenomena and then try and understand it in that order. So there's a phenomena that people get better from homeopathic prescriptions. The question is, they might attempt to understand it, rather than assume, because they don't understand it, that it doesn't exist.
The protest was called by the British Homeopathic Association.
The BMA is trying to make motions against patients' rights without even consulting patients or doctors, which is totally wrong. So they need to know that they should actually think about these motions before they just pass them and say, yes, we agree that homeopathy should be on the NHS.
So how do you feel about the demonstration that there's been outside?
I think it's been hugely successful and really potent vehicle for patients and for the doctors to understand that there's people that really care about homeopathy.
Many protesters agreed that patient choice was being ignored.
I think it's very important to protect homeopathy wherever it's found. Really. It's been in the NHS for years, since 1945. It's built into the Constitution, so I think it's important that the NHS preserves homeopathy for everyone.
We've used homeopathy for years, saving the NHS, I'm sure, lots of money, because we've used it so successfully. And I think it's really important that those in the medical profession listen to what the patients want.
Members of the Faculty of Homeopathy, which represents NHS doctors who have then trained as homeopaths, were also ignored. Not allowed to speak in the debate, they lobbied representatives, their reactions were mixed.
There's going to be some people that totally disagree with the motions and will say up front that they disagree and would like to put forward counter motions or vote against it, which is fantastic. There's other people, as you saw, as they walk in and are very uncomfortable, or else they're very vehemently against homeopathy.
In the end, the motions were carried by a 3-to-1 vote, but 150 doctors voted against them.